Hello and welcome to our HIPAA Basics training. I'm Serena, a cybersecurity and compliance consultant with QuirkTree. If you are here, it means that you are part of a healthcare practice, either as a provider, the management, or support staff. You might be fulfilling your initial HIPAA training requirement or your annual refresher. Either way, we hope as much as is possible with compliance training that you find this series gives you a clear sense of your responsibilities under HIPAA, along with the necessary context to frame those responsibilities around your particular job duty. Our goal is to break this training material up in a way that doses the information out in manageable chunks so that you can make your way through the requirements and digest it without zoning out or getting overwhelmed. We know that required training is not always the most exciting way to spend your time. It's about on the same level as plucking nose hairs. But this information is important to your work in the healthcare space, and it is a requirement that must be fulfilled. Our hope is that by the end, you do walk away a little more informed and better equipped to tackle some of the challenges in front of you. We promise to leave you with no permanent scars. The content we'll cover in this series directly addresses your work with restricted data. So let's briefly look at our goals for this training series. We're going to first cover why HIPAA training is important. Then we'll dive into the definition of HIPAA and the entities that are subject to the regulation. We'll then frame that all with a look at the history of HIPAA and its amendments and expansions over time, with notable additions such as the HITECH Act. Then we'll define the core data at the heart of HIPAA with a dive into identifying PHI and the most common places PHI exists in your organization. We'll discuss the best practice for most organizations of expanding protections for PHI out to other restricted and regulated data like PII and cardholder data. And then once we identify the data that you're responsible for protecting, we will address security considerations surrounding your access to software applications and the end user devices that touch restricted data. Then we will turn our attention to your organization's relationships with vendors and explain the concept of shared responsibility. We'll talk through communication guidelines, whether you're communicating with patients directly, working with vendors or business associates, or communicating publicly. From there, we will overview the importance of the organization's risk management efforts and your role in that vital compliance process. And then we expand from there to discuss what it means to have a HIPAA compliance program, which includes fulfilling training requirements just like you're doing right now. All right, this is a good amount of important information to cover, so we've broken the full training up into manageable sections that you can digest in increments at your own pace so that hopefully it sticks well. We do have a recommended order to watch these videos in. Each lesson will build on the previous one. Feel free to watch each lesson or the entire series as many times as you need. It's always best for training if you remove all other distractions and just take the information in fully during each session. If you find your attention starting to wane, feel free to take a break and resume after you've had some time to absorb and process what you previously heard. Feel free to ask questions in the discussion along the way. Okay, that's it for our introduction to HIPAA training for covered entities. Now that you know the intention and the layout of this course, I'll stop blabbering and let you get to it. We'll see you in the next video where we provide the context for why we have to do HIPAA training in the first place.